What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi. You guys listening to episode 468. Out of those 468, I think, maybe 40 of them have been the new Virzi Effect, which is now video, which you guys can now get on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere you get podcasts, and on the Paul Virzi official YouTube channel with stand-up, podcasts, all kinds of clips, sketches, all that stuff. So please subscribe to that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have another great show for you guys today. No guests. I am flying solo. I will have a guest in the next week or so. I'm going to try to do like 2 or 3 solos and 1 guest a month. This is kind of the Virzi Effect 2.0. We have reinvented ourselves. I built this lovely studio in here. Got my New York Giants sign over the door. They're 0-4 or 0-5, I think, even worse. But hopefully things turn around. Anyway, today, I'm going to be talking about a couple of things today. I actually hope a lot of comedians listen to the show today. This show is geared, listen, if you're not a comedian, it's still going to be a great show because it's going to give you a lot of insight on the shit that we go through out there mentally and the things that we think about and the things that we think are important. So you're going to get a lot of good insight and inside stuff if you're not a comedian. If you are a comedian, hopefully this could be an eye-opener, and hopefully it could be something that really makes you think or rethink, I should say. Also, going to talk about a lot of stuff that some comedians do that is really fucking gross. We're going to talk about that. Who knows what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about some horror movies. We're going to talk about how horror movies are insulting to people's intelligence. We're going to talk about Halloween. We got a lot of shit going on today. All right. I got a fucking red and black lumberjack on today, which I haven't worn in a while. Not going to lie. It feels good. Feels good with the beard and the brisk cold air in the fall. So sit back, relax, wherever you may be, in your car, at work, sneaking this shit from your cubicle. All right, on the treadmill, on the elliptical, sit back, relax, and enjoy episode TVE number 468. Now, first I want to talk about Utah. I was just in Salt Lake City, Utah last weekend, and I cannot tell you how fucking fantastic it was. I want to thank everybody who listens to the Virzi Effect who was in the room. The room was limited capacity because of obviously everything going on. Normally the room seats over 300 people. Obviously not able to do that, but they socially distanced it well. It felt great. We had, I think, a sellout on Saturday night on one of the shows. The other show looked fantastic. Both shows Friday. I got to be honest, one of the tops in the country. Wise Guys Comedy Club. Shout out to Keith Stubbs. He runs the room. It's his room. What he's done with the comedy scene there and for local comedians, the guy is awesome. He loves comedy. He loves comedians. He's got fucking TVs with sports on in between, so you could watch that. They put on any sport, any game I wanted to go. Saturday night, my buddy Bill Burr was hosting Saturday Night Live. We watched that in the green room. That was great. Just a great club, great people, great staff, and I got to tell you, unbelievable comedy fans and crowds in Utah. Salt Lake City is beautiful. I'm not going to lie. And here's what you heard. Oh, they're Mormon. Watch what you say. Oh, it could be a little different. Could be weird. That's all bullshit. Everybody that was in that comedy club, any joke that I did edgy, any joke that I did where they didn't know where I was going and I took a turn and it was a little bit dark or edgy, they laughed their ass off. They were incredible. People were nice, respectful. So I have nothing but love for Salt Lake City. My first time there, as far as I'm concerned, was a success, and I'm looking forward to going back there when the Utah Jazz are there playing, taking my family out there. Speaking of watching Bill Burr's SNL thing, I'm not going to sit here and talk about You guys know Bill's a dear friend of mine. I thought it was brilliant. I thought his jokes were hilarious and needed and fine. I know people say, oh, well, that was a controversial topic. That's fine. But here's what I wanted to talk about. And this is what I wanted to talk about. And here's an unacceptable. Okay. And yes, if you're a comedian that did this, yes, then this is towards you too. And I tweeted this the other day. Any comedian, okay, any comedian that publicly judges our peers is gross. If you see a comedian do something, we all know how hard this shit is. We all know what it takes to go from hosting shows to then becoming a feature and opening for people, to then get to a national headliner, to travel the country and headline A rooms, to get on television, to do comedy specials, to do all of these things, to build a social media. All of these things, we all know how hard it is. And for you to see somebody get to a plateau, to get to the top, for you to see somebody to host Saturday Night Live as a stand-up, not just, oh, they're in a movie. As a stand-up comedian, yes, Bill's done some acting, but that was because of the years he put in as a master of his craft. Okay, which myself and all people that really love stand-up and continue to do stand-up, that's what we want to do. That's the goal. We love stand-up. And he did that. So even if, let's just say hypothetically, you didn't like it and you're a comedian, to publicly go out and do something like that is gross, and it's you trying to fucking piggyback off of somebody else's greatness. Oh, so now you're going to be a part of somebody's SNL, even if it's negative. It's gross, and those people need to look themselves in the fucking mirror, and those people need to look at their own shit and get their shit together. How about that? Look at your act. Look at what you've done. Look at your goals. What are you trying to do? Instead of shitting on somebody that's on a big stage like that. Let's say somebody that you know does SNL and they're a comedian too, and let's say it sucked. The whole thing sucked and the person fell flat on their face. Let's just say that your friend, Joe Smith, and Joe, or somebody that you know, your peer, Joe Smith, does it, and everybody hates it. It's a collective, wow, it was bad. Whatever. The guy like shits his pants on stage and throws up, whatever. The worst case scenario, something like that. You're saying anything. You could be playing cards with your friends and be like, dude, so-and-so just shit his pants. I mean, that was a little rough to watch. Playing poker, behind closed doors, smoking a cigar, talking, what. You don't publicly do that. So anybody that publicly hated on something because it wasn't PC enough, or, oh, he went at women or anything like that, that's just, for me, that's gross. And I'm not just talking about SNL or Bill or that set. I'm talking about in general. Bobby Kelly, shout out to Bobby Kelly. He said it best. He said, when you do this, we're in the mob. We're in the mob, and you just keep some things behind closed doors. Like I said, you guys are hanging out, talk amongst yourselves. You don't shit on somebody or even judge them or judge their judgment publicly. That's my unacceptable for the week. It's absolutely unacceptable. Get your shit together and look at your own shit. Look in the mirror and figure out what you're doing. That's how I feel. And I'll tell you something else, man. Look at it as motivating. See, that's what people got to understand, man. Motivate. I saw Bill's monologue. I was 12 minutes away from going on stage in Utah. And I ran up there and I just had this, and I did like an hour and 15 minutes. I had one of the best sets. It was just such a great time doing the new hour. And it's just like, use it to motivate, but don't use it to judge because you're unable. All right. That's one thing that I wanted to say. Now, moving forward on this thing that I want really to help comedians here with this. And I want you people that don't listen to comedy or know about comedy. And don't worry, we're going to talk about horror movies. We're going to get funny. I'm just talking some shit now. I'm just having a little fun, and I want to get some of these things out. These are the thoughts that have been on my mind. And I'm like, you know what? I'm putting this shit out on 468. Thank you for the subscriptions. By the way, we're almost at 2,500 subscribers on the new YouTube channel. Please tell your friends. I want to double that, get that thing up there soon. And we're going to be putting more clips on there as well. A lot of comedians think things matter, or they need to do things in order to be validated, and myself included. Okay. I was talking about this yesterday on an Instagram live. So if you were one of the few people in that room, I'm sorry. You're going to have to sit through this again. But we think, because we all are attention seekers, we all want approval. It's the reason why we do this. We all want something from this. Want people to say, oh, this person's good. This person's accepted for whatever happened in our lives, for whatever happened as kids or whatever. There's a reason we go out there and we tell jokes in basements and now outside in fields or in socially distanced comedy clubs. Wherever the fuck we do this, there's a reason why we do it. So you're always looking for acceptance from the audience, acceptance from your peers, acceptance from things that are considered big, good shows, right? And I realized, and advice that I can give, okay? I can't give any stand-up advice. Stand-up advice is keep getting on stage, keep digging deeper, keep getting better, get reps in, and with experience and talent, and if you have the tools, it's going to happen. But it's actually a lot of advice. I can't give any advice on stand-up, but here's what you need to do. You need to get up, you need to write, you need to be talented, you need to, no. But what I was saying was, the things you think matter don't matter. There'll be a show, a big underground show in New York. Everybody's done it. The booker loves comedy. So if you could get in good with him, and I remember, I'm not going to mention any names, but there was a show in New York and it had one of those stupid names, it's like one of those, did you go to this, like one, it was like the show to go to on whether it was a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and you would go and it would be packed and it had a cult following and everybody wanted to get on it. And then you see who the gatekeeper is. And the gatekeeper is somebody who's never lived in our shoes. They don't do stand-up. The booker of it has never bombed epically. The booker of it has never crushed and tore down a big room. Nothing. It's just somebody that probably lives in Williamsburg, Brooklyn or something, and they knew somebody at a venue, and what they did was they packed it out. They probably made some money or not. They just like the power of being the booker. And you go down and you think it's a big deal and you get in. And, hey, man, do you think you could talk to so-and-so? I'd really love to do. Oh, I don't know. He's tough. He only likes certain comics. And then what does that do? That makes you feel a certain way, like you're not accepted. To get past at a comedy club. Well, this one club, man, I really wanted to get in. This one club, though, this is where all the best comedians are. And yes, it does feel good sometimes when a big-time comedy club in New York City passes you. I'm in a lot of clubs in New York City, and it feels good. But I realized something. Validation of somebody that doesn't do it, never lived it, and they just have their subjective personal preference doesn't matter. Here's what matters. You getting better, you writing and doing what you love wherever you can that makes you feel comfortable and getting to the goals that you want to get to regardless how you do it. And all that other shit is bullshit. So any comedians listening to this right now, if some asshole who has a room, oh man, you got to go to Teddy's, you got to go to Teddy's rooftop. It's the show of the year. It's the show of the Thursday nights up on the roof. It's called Teddy's. And if Teddy doesn't like you, and then you find out Teddy's a fucking NYU student who fucking is a dog walker during the day, and the guy just happens to, have friends that are in comedy, and all of a sudden he's so that means nothing. If they don't want you there, you go, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go to another place and I'm going to do what I do. Okay, and I'll get to the point where people are talking about me, and then fucking Teddy's rooftop is going to want me. How funny would it be if there was a Teddy's rooftop? I don't know. I don't think there is or whatever. But that's what I wanted to say. Things that we think are important. You finally get into the comedy club you wanted to get past in, and then what? And then you're just in another comedy club. You're just, yes, it's great, and yes, you get work, but it's not the thing. You're going to go home feeling bad. You're going to go home, think about that. You're going to drive home feeling bad that some of your peers are in this room that you wanted to be in and you're not in there. Eventually you will get in there. Okay. If you work hard and you're funny enough and enough people talk. It happened to me. It happened to me at rooms. It happened to me in great rooms and rooms that I really wanted to be in and respected. you know, like The Stand and The Cellar and all that. But at first it was like, you got to, you know, work, but it doesn't define, you know, just go out there and do what you do. People will talk when you get good enough, and then that's it. And I really mean this. I really, trust me when I tell you, nobody in this business, you know, wanted me for things until, guess what? Until they did. And it's the same thing now, you know. I did a Comedy Central special. It did good. And then when it did good, doors opened in clubs because they were like, oh, I guess he's funny. It's just a matter of timing. It's a matter of getting better. It's a matter of, and listen, I'll be honest, I wasn't ready until I was ready. So look at it that way. But never put stock in somebody that's never did what you did. Never get down or upset about what somebody's personal preference is. You know, comedy is subjective. You know, so just do what you do, stay true to it, and master it. And that is the motivational part of the Virzi effect today. All right. So any comedians that talk shit about other comedians publicly, they're gross. Fuck them. And don't worry about being accepted anywhere. Just do what you love to do and let the chips fall where they may, and you will be okay. Man, I'm on fire today. I think it's the shirt. I think it's the red and black. The red and black shirt. I'm gonna go hunting after this. Actually, I don't hunt. I don't hunt. Here's what I am doing, everybody. Trying to stay away from this election because I just can't do it anymore. Everywhere I turn, it's just there. This guy said this, Biden's this, Trump is this, the Supreme Court justice this, the polls say this, so he's going to lose by a lot. Oh, he might be coming back. I can't do it. I just don't do it. So here's what I'm trying to do. I peak. We all peak. But I'm trying to watch horror movies. Okay? I'm trying to watch horror movies, and I have to tell you, 9 out of 10 horror movies suck. All right. I tried to watch It the other night. I got halfway through it. I was completely bored out of my mind. First of all, you got a clown living in the fucking sewer, okay, killing kids. Only a certain group of kids see him. He comes every 27 years. There's balloons floating everywhere. Nobody's talking about it. That's my problem with it. Okay. Nobody in the community is talking about this clown that's under there. Okay. There's pictures of them. People know that this is happening or whatever. All right, and listen, I didn't see the second half of it, so I could be completely off base here. You got a killer clown living in the sewer. All right, only kids see it. This fat kid is in the library, and a balloon goes by. He follows the balloon. Everything starts flickering. There's a freaking a clown getting closer and closer, and that turns into a demon. And he just runs away and then hangs out with his friends, and nobody's talking about it. How about throwing up and going, dude, I need a guidance counselor. I need to talk to my mom. I just shit my pants in the library because there was something there. I'm either hallucinating. Somebody put something in my drink because I just saw a fucking clown. Lights were flickering, and nobody's doing anything about this. Instead, they just like go and they keep it a secret. I mean, I will give credit. The one girl, her blood flew out of her sink, and her sink was all red and shit, and her dad couldn't see it, and then she just brings the friends in. So I guess only the kids could see it. How about telling people? And you know what? If they're like, oh, well, they would have just branded the kid to be insane, and they would have probably, okay, not every kid. If you get all kids sitting down going, you guys don't understand, there's a clown here, okay? And he's killing people. That's where my brother went. All right. And could somebody talk to the neighbor who saw a puddle of blood outside the sewer? The kid at the beginning of the movie gets his arm bit off by the clown, and the clown takes him in. And the same eyewitness who saw that sees a puddle of blood, and then there's a missing kid. At once, can she go to the thing and go, listen, I saw a kid with his head in the sewer. Next thing you know, he's gone, and there's a puddle of blood. So it might be the kid that's been missing in our town for fucking a year. It's stupid. I know what you're saying, Paul. Why are you getting so mad over a horror movie? Because it's a horror movie and it's supposed to scare you. I need sequence. That's why I don't like animated movies. I was watching an animated movie and a squirrel was driving a car. I was out. I'm like, he's not going to drive. You know, what was the one where a fish was driving a car. The other fish was putting the thing down. It's like, make it somewhat. And I know what you're saying, Paul. It's not realistic. It's a bunch of animals talking. Did that part? Yes, I could deal with them talking. But I can't deal with them driving on the FDR on the bridge. I can't deal with an animated movie where the animal's driving a car. You lose me there, you know? And I can't deal with a town being harassed by a killer clown and nobody saying shit. It's silly. Okay. Another thing with these horror movies, you can't blow the killer's head off with a shotgun at the end of episode, number 4, and then 3 years later, oh, number 5's coming out. I guess his head grew back. It's like that's the problem with horror movies. There needs to be. That's why the Rob Zombie horror movies were great. The Rob Zombie Halloweens were great, where this just big Mike Myers would just unmercifully see somebody, no hesitation. There's not that stupid music. And then if he would just grab you and unmercifully beat you to death. And you were like, all right, there's a maniac out here, and he's eventually going to get caught and killed, and the end of it. I can deal with that. I can deal with a killer behind a curtain holding a knife in a house. I can deal with that. But I can't deal with the stupid shit. I can't deal with people not saying things, or like a kid just getting panicked and shit coming out of a sink and being like, nobody's taking it seriously. I know that this is a weird thing to be talking about on a podcast, but I want my horror movies to be good because this is the time of year. It's Halloween. Okay, when's the last time you watched a horror movie where you got the shit scared out of you? There was one, Insidious or something, the one with Ethan Hawke. There was one with Ethan Hawke that was kind of nuts, where he was like, there was something wrong with the house, and then somebody hung there, and there was one like that. Anytime a little kid is possessed by the devil, it freaks you out. Exorcist is one of the scariest ever. Those I can, Nightmare on Elm Street, I saw it when I was like 6 or 7, so it scarred me and freaked me out. That was one that bothered me as a kid. But I'll tell you what, man, and I know people are going to laugh at this. The Wizard of Oz, I've talked about this on the show. The Witch in the Wizard of Oz freaked me out, was one of the scariest things ever because she kept coming back. And then I finally saw the actress on Mr. Rogers. Somebody sent it to me. Shout out to the Virzi Effect listener who sent that to me. For my whole life, I was afraid of the witch in the Wizard of Oz. My whole life. It started at like 5 or 6. It freaked me out. Then I was 10 or 11. It freaked me out. Then I remember one time watching it at my grandmother's. I was 13. Still freaked me out. And then just still when I would catch it, I would be like, I don't know why this is just the creepiest, scariest thing to me. One of the scariest things to me was the bad witch, the witch in the Wizard of Oz. And somebody said, Paul, maybe this will make you feel better. And they sent me Mr. Rogers sitting with the actress who was a guest on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or whatever. And I almost said Mr. Robinson's, like Eddie Murphy. And she was like the nicest, sweetest old lady. And you could tell that it was her, obviously aged. And I'm going, she's the nicest lady. She's just a great actress. And what am I scared about? But that's the shit. Shit like that, where like the character, where you actually see it. All these horror movies are making it like, are they seeing it? Is it a hallucination? What's going on? Lights are flickering. Then there's a panic. Then they wake up. And it's like, I don't want that. I want a killer to fucking kill you. That's what I want in a horror movie. I want the bad guy, the guy that everybody's looking for, to be out there with a knife or a gun or a hatchet or a hammer, and I want him to be behind the curtain and pop out of nowhere and make your popcorn jump up and kill you, fucking beat you to death, and then go out there and have people go, yeah, there's a psychopath on the loose. We need to do it. That's how I want my horror movies. Okay, not a clown in a sewer laughing, psychedelic shit happening. Nobody knows what's going on, and the whole town is just turning their back to it or oblivious to it. Okay, it was not scary at all. Halloween, that's a good one. Friday the 13th, let's be honest. Friday the 13th in space, where he like put her head in like liquid nitrogen and then shattered it into pieces. Comical, so I can't really, you can't really, you can't really take that seriously. But check out the Rob Zombie Halloweens were really good. The last Halloween wasn't that good, but again, they left the door open. You know what they did? They put him down in the basement. They closed the top and they burned him alive. So now what they can do is they can start Halloween 14 and he got out through an underground thing, or he got out somewhere. You know, they need to keep making them. And I get that, but can they just make a Halloween, or can they just make a horror movie where the guy kills everybody and gets away with it? And then you make a fucking sequel and it like kind of picks up a few years later and you're like, are they ever going to get this guy? We know you're making another one. Make it a continuous thing. Just make it a continuous thing. And how about this? Why does the guy always have to have a mask, hair, a hockey thing, burned? Okay, did you guys see the movie, the Nicolas Cage movie that's on in Alaska, where he goes after the serial killer, Bob Hansen, where he would take women and then he would he would do God knows what and then he would fly him to an island, or he would fly him somewhere to the woods, and he would let him free, and he would just take his rifle and hunt him and kill him and then bury him. Brutal, horrible, but it was creepy because the guy was just like the neighborhood baker. He was a baker, and they're like, no, it's not Bob. And it was Bob. It was Bob. That's what I want to see. I want to see a guy that's in the neighborhood you wouldn't expect. How you doing, Miss Nelson? Okay. You have a good day. And then Miss Nelson is nailed to her wall over her bed, with her grocery list, on her, because he couldn't stand dealing with her in the store. Something like that. That's what I want to see. I would make a good horror movie, and I live in the woods. I would make a horror movie where it was a bunch of friends all in the woods. There's a killer. We're getting clipped off one by one, and the scariest shit happens. And then at the end, he either gets away or doesn't, something like that. That's what I would do. No teenagers having sex in a tent, being like, this feels incredible, but Bobby, go get me a beer. All right. And Bobby goes, gets a beer. Her head gets taken down through the Bobby's arm just gets thrown into the thing, There's a big scream. Enough of that. What's going on? I would say congratulations to the Lakers. Congratulations to the Lakers for winning the NBA championship. Not my, wasn't my first choice to win. I picked the Clippers, so maybe I'm a little bitter, but I will say this. I will say that the Lakers were good to me when I went out to a game out there. The Laker fans have been my fans. I had somebody who was a Laker fan drive out from California, stopped in Nevada at Vegas to gamble, and then the next day go to Utah to watch my show. And I'm glad I did 1 hour and 15 minutes on that show, and I had a great time. And the guy was a full-fledged Laker fan, so I can't be that mad. But it would have been nice if the Heat would have won. Plus, my friend Jerry Ferrara, who predicted on my web series, dude, I called it, the Heat are going to win the championship. And he came damn close. He came really, really close to it. Sports is about to be over, man, except football, because baseball, the World Series is going to be in the next couple of weeks. And then we just have football. And the scary thing about that is a lot of players are getting the coronavirus. Coronavirus is slowly creeping back into the world, and I think now everybody kind of needs to, I'm not saying lock everything down, but just really that's the one thing, because I just don't want things to start picking up and then all of a sudden the shit hits the fan. It's going to be a very I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that these hospitals don't fill up, and I'm hoping that people, Here's the question. Will you take a vaccine? I think I have a theory. Okay. I have a theory. When a vaccine first comes out, like the day it comes out, like the day, like if a vaccine comes out at midnight, like an album dropping, I think the first 20,000 people who take it should get paid money. If you're going to be a guinea pig, pay me. I don't know if I'm going to have an ear growing off my forehead. I don't know if this thing is going to kill the coronavirus, increase the coronavirus. I don't know if it's going to make my fucking heart stop, but you need a test study. Give me 20. Everybody gets 20 grand. The first 20,000 people who take the vaccine and sit on it for a while, each gets 20 grand. I will line up for that. And listen, that's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money for your life, but it's something to go, hey, you know what? I get 20 grand, I'll pay some bills, and I'll hope for the best from this drug company that they did the right thing. If they didn't, hopefully I could survive it. I still got 20 grand. You can't just have a group of people lined up with nothing. Take care of everybody's Christmas shopping. Okay, the first 20,000, 100,000 throughout the country, the first 100,000, be like, listen, what's your Christmas budget? 2 grand, 5 grand? Okay, we'll take care of all the, something like that. Or have homeless people, do it for homeless people who are on the street, and they get housing. You give them, like, during the trial, they get to, like, go through the medicine trial for like 3 months in a nicely furnished home, and they get like a stipend, a weekly thing, try to maybe help them get their shit together, something like that. I don't know, something. You just got to give them something. You can't just expect someone to go, yeah, stick that needle in and we'll see what happens. There you go. Paul Virzi for whatever the medical, I'll be the Attorney General. I'd be great to have what about if you had an Italian Attorney General? There was an Italian going like, look, you could smoke, but let's just keep it, a couple cigars. Instead of the box from the Surgeon General saying may cause cancer, the Italian Surgeon General, it just says like, look, just don't go crazy. Oh, I know I'm being a little silly here, guys, but listen, man, it's Halloween. I'm happy. I am off this week. We are doing a party. We're doing a get-together with family. Relax. Everybody's negative. All right, everybody is tested. I did hear that there's a chance me and my family are immune. Like immune, maybe for a lifetime. We don't know. But we're being told now that there is a possibility that it's very unlikely we will get reinfected. How true is that? I don't know. They don't know. Fauci doesn't know. Nobody knows. They don't know if you should wear a mask. Now they're saying you could get it at home. Nobody knows anything. You could get it from your refrigerator. Who knows? But we're going to be having a little get together here because I am off this weekend. And then guess what, everybody? Then I am off to the Comedy Connection. I'm off to the Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island. Limited seats, very limited. Okay. Because of the coronavirus, there's going to be limited capacity. It's going to be safe. It's going to be social distance. Can't do a meet and greet, but it's going to be a great time. I'm bringing my new hour there. That's October 23rd and 24th. Then I will be at Mohegan Sun Casino November 5, 6, and 7. And then I will be in Atlantic City November 13 and 14. So those are on the books right now. More dates are coming, so you guys can get all those dates, get tickets for those shows as well. I got to tell you, man, the crowds have been good, but it has been safe. All of these clubs, just so you guys know, the way how clean these places are and how amazing that it's been, and what these clubs are doing with the air. They're like filtering out air. There's like plexiglass in some cases in some clubs dividing booths. There's like, so people are able to go out there and really have a good time. And it makes a performer feel good. 3 microphones, one for the host, one for the middle, one for the headliner. Everything is clean and wiped down. So it's definitely been like they're taking strides. They're not just like, fuck it, just hope for the best. Hasn't been that way. And I'm happy to say that out of all of the shows I've done, haven't really heard of one person in June, back a long time when this thing was still out there, when I was in Arizona. I found out one person got it like a week later. So I don't know if it was because of my show. Other than that, I've been to Atlanta. I've been to Cleveland. I've been to Utah. I've been to Connecticut. I've been to Long Island. I've been to all of these different places that are doing it the right way, and there's been no cases. So it's definitely safe. But also don't be an asshole. Don't be somebody that's like, oh, well, we went to a comedy show, so tomorrow let's go to this fucking open field concert, and then you get it. Like, that's not, just be smart with whatever you do. And nobody knows shit. And what can you do? just don't get crazy with the, don't get crazy with the election. Just try to take it in stride, see what happens, and get a gun. Get guns, guys. It's funny when you say, listen, it's not going to be that bad. Just get a lot of bullets. Make sure you have a lot of guns. I mean, that's all that you can do as an. Well, that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is episode. I don't know, what could I call this one? I got to think of a name for this show. Maybe horror movies. We'll just call this one horror movies. But like I said, I just want a straight up killer. Scary scenes, no stupid walking slow while somebody's sprinting. There just needs to be, like, the way we've evolved with technology in other shows. We've evolved in technology. It's just time to evolve in horror movies. Okay? No more antebellum, something or whatever, like a doll that opens it. I'm just tired of dolls. This is what I'm tired of. I'm tired of dolls. I'm tired of clowns in the sewer. I'm tired of psychedelic. Is it happening? Is it not happening? I'm tired of that. I want a murderer running around, fucking people up with scary music at the right time, and they either catch them or they don't, but it's the creepiest shit that you got to fucking worry about when you're home in your house at night. Are the doors locked? Did I hear something? Something like that. Or exorcism stuff, but that kind of just freaks me out, that whole other realm of demons and shit. So I just like straight up killers. Like how nasty would it have been if the Wizard of Oz witch was just slitting Munchkin's throats or whatever it was, not Munchkins, but like whatever just like they, Dorothy's found Toto's head, in her basket or something like that. And the witch was just like, that would be sick. If you want to make a remake of the Wizard of Oz where the witch is a killer and she's just fucking it. There's a scene where like the Tin Man's got no oil, so he gets like stuck, and then she just chops him down and puts pieces of him all over, something like that. That's what I want to see. All right, guys, I'm being a little silly here. This has been 268, and might have a big announcement for you guys coming up soon. So please also subscribe to the Virzi Effect. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Dude I Called It. We're going to put a trailer out for the whole first season. That's already out, and season 2 is going to be coming out soon. So check that out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, to the Dude I Called It channel. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram. That's Paul Virzi, Virzi. For you new fans who just got on, thank you so much. You can get the Virzi Effect, like I said, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere you guys get podcasts. Enjoy your horror movies during this Halloween season. Well, I talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys before Halloween, before the night of Halloween, which I don't think they're canceling. But here's the nice thing. If they cancel Halloween, you have a couple of close friends that were tested negative. You throw some costumes on, you do a Halloween party. And then there's just, Snickers, candy, and booze all over the place in your house. You don't got to worry about it. You leave a basket of food outside for the kids if they do decide to come, and then you're good to go. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, I am out of here. Enjoy. Be safe.